Today I'm going to curate the perfect fragrance collection for you. If you don't want to have a whole bunch, if you just want to limit it to a nice modest 10 fragrances, that's perfect. That's more than doable if you spread it out over a little while. Don't have to buy them all at once, but maybe work your way through and pick up one a month or something like that if you just want to kind of get into it slowly. And then you're going to have a solid set of fragrances that's going to do everything for you. Spring, summer, fall, winter, it's going to be covered. Date nights, work, casual, formal, all of this stuff is going to be covered. It's going to be super easy. One of the main things that threw me off and confused me and was so challenging for me in the beginning was I would hear people say, this is a fall fragrance, this is a date night scent, this is a formal scent. And I was sitting there thinking, how do you know this? What does that mean? I had no idea. I just couldn't figure it out because I was brand new. And I think it's worth saying, and I want to make this point just before we start really quickly, pretty much anything will work for anything. So don't get hung up in hearing that this is for this and that is for that. If you're going somewhere, wear what you want. If that's what you're in the mood to wear, go for it. Don't worry about whether or not it's going to be suitable for that application. It will be. But these are going to take us at least some of the guesswork out of it for you. If you want to build up a nice collection and you just don't want to spend a ton of money and go super crazy, these are some options I would strongly suggest looking into. I'm going to link them all down below for you and make it super easy to pick up. Let's get things kicked off with the new Azzaro Chrome Parfum. It's got sage, bergamot, and fir resin. It's a nice new aromatic and bit of citrusy scent here, essentially. A little bit citrusy, a little bit sweet, actually, from just kind of an amberwood feel in here, which they don't list off in the note breakdown there, but you do kind of get an amberwood, cashmerean, musky hint of sweetness, but then it's also predominantly soapy and fresh and clean. This is just what you would expect to smell in 2024, essentially. It's just new smelling, but it is really nice, and it almost leans a tiny bit aromatic fougere, a little bit. You know what it reminds me of in a big stretch of a way is Chanel Platinum Egoist, in the fact that it has a similar type of soapiness. Not necessarily like shower gel in the sense of Dylan Blue soapiness, but more like an older school masculine soapiness, like Platinum Egoist, which it just has this more mature smell. And I am not saying that this is a clone of Platinum Egoist, definitely not. But if I were to put it into a category, it reminds me of that a little bit, but with more of a modernized, younger approach. This one might be surprising to a lot of you. It might just look like another parfum, another rushed out release that they put out there because why not? But it really is better than that. And I wouldn't call this better than Chrome Extreme, but it is really close, and I would say it's right behind Chrome Extreme. So it's one of the better Chrome releases. This is going to be more suited for spring and early summer. That's kind of what I'm targeting for this one. Again, like I already mentioned, don't stick to that too much if you don't want to. It can be used in early summer, late summer, into fall and winter time as well. But if you wanted to stick with more of a time frame, that's kind of what I'm targeting. And then pretty much just general use. Dressed up, dressed down, it's going to do anything. We're going to go over to YSL up next, and this might sound like a big, intimidating, super expensive brand. They're really not too bad when you're shopping on discounters. Retail is always a different story. I don't recommend retail. I recommend shopping at discounters because you could save a lot of money. And so with this one, you're looking at right around $100 for 100 ml, maybe 105, okay? But it's in that range. And this is L'Homme Eau de Parfum. This is a beautiful release. It really draws on the original, which is that ginger, kind of apple, lavender, gentleman smelling DNA. But then they're adding in some cognac. So you get a bit of a booziness, getting quite a bit of oak as well, which accompanies that boozy accord really, really nicely. And it's essentially just kind of like a nighttime, evening, mysterious, sexy version of L'Homme, essentially. That's what I love so much about this one. There is absolutely nothing wrong with the original L'Homme, but I do feel like, at least in 2024, people are going to be less apt to go for that one because you have access to all of these flankers, and you might assume that the flankers are better, and they have made some improvements over the years. And I do think this is a welcomed addition to the line, and it's a true eau de parfum variant where it's still based on that original DNA, but they're just building onto it. They're adding to it. They did a great job with this. You don't hear about L'Homme Eau de Parfum all that often compared to a few of the other flankers in the line, but it is a worthwhile scent that's worth picking up. I'm kind of shooting for fall and early winter with this one. So not too cold, not too warm either. And again, it's going to do anything pretty much anytime, right? But that's kind of what I'm looking at. And then more so evening wear, date night / more formal leaning. But, you know, you could wear it to work easily as well. Now let's jump into Armani. There is a wide range of options here. You could stick with the Acqua di Gio lineup, which is what I'm doing. But then you could also go into the Code line. You could go into the Stronger With You line. There's a lot of different avenues that you could branch off. To me, the Acqua di Gio line is always a safe, no-brainer starting point. So if you're just getting started and you're just building up a collection, look into the Acqua di Gio fragrance line. Now, it's very intimidating because there are a ton of them. I recently did a buying guide on my channel you can check out, and you can just go to my playlist section and there's buying guides. I just did it because it's updated because they've released new ones. I go through all of the Acqua di Gios, discontinued or not, and I break them down. It's going to make it really easy for you to dive in. But what I wanted to go with today was the eau de parfum. So again, parfum, profondo, profondo parfum, you know, and then some of the other ones that are getting a little bit harder to find. There's a lot going on. This is a no-brainer, safe option. What is the difference between this and the original? It's simply the fact that this is a more aromatic take on the original. Personally, I don't think you should buy the original these days. I think there's money better spent. Yes, the original is cheaper than a lot of these other flankers, and that's what gets people. They're like, I want Profondo or the Eau de Parfum or the Parfum, but the original's cheaper. It is true, but for that original price, you could just take and buy something else different completely, right? You could get out of the Acqua di Gio line and for whatever it's going for, $60 or whatever, just buy something different that's better. But if you want to get what I think is going to be the best bang for your buck, ditch the original, go for one of these flankers. You're going to get better performance. You're just going to get a better, more improved product overall. Not to say that the original doesn't work anymore. Of course it does. But I think there is money better spent elsewhere. Like I said, just more aromatic and just more updated, more refined. And I also want to jump in here really quick and mention we have fragrance samples available on our website, decantcenter.com, first link down below. We're constantly adding to it every day. We've got a lot of stuff coming in right now. We're starting to fill up our women's side of things as well. So there's going to be options there if you want to, surprise somebody, or if you want to try them for yourself, whatever it is. Free shipping over $49. We have, hands down, some of the best prices in the industry. So check us out. We're constantly updating the website and adding more stuff. We have a super easy, seamless shopping experience. It's going to make it very, very easy to find what you're looking for and to get that stuff delivered to your doorstep. Save a lot of money. Designer fragrances are getting more expensive. Niche fragrances, more expensive. Try before you buy. Go check us out. Next up, we're going to go with Polo Blue Parfum. It's got orange, oak, lavender, and clary sage. What a great release. Another example, perfect example of flankers being better than the original. Similar deal where I don't think you should buy the original Polo Blue anymore. I just don't think so. Get Polo Blue Parfum, Polo Deep Blue Parfum. They're both better. I just think, especially now with this one coming down so low in price, I think it retails for like $140 if I'm not mistaken, and it's down to $50 to $60. That's a huge price cut, and they'll probably work down even more. $50 to $60, maybe even a bit less sometimes. You're really close to the Eau de Toilette price. Just spend a little bit more and get this, which is going to be infinitely better. Polo Deep Blue Parfum is sometimes as low as $40 to $45. Same deal, a way better performing, better product overall. So those both could be in here. I like the added depth and maturity of this one. The woods in here really come through, and it's just a big upgrade over that original. So this is kind of going to be more of a warmer weather scent, but could also double as a year-round signature. So even if it's winter time, if you're just feeling like something fresher and cleaner and you don't want to screw around with something that's sweet and heavy, throw on Polo Blue Parfum. It has the depth in the woods to get you through a colder day. And I realized I forgot to touch on the Acqua di Gio Eau de Parfum, kind of self-explanatory, but that's more spring and summer as well, but could be roped into a cooler day as well. Okay, now we're going to jump into something that's more fall, winter, whatever you want to do. And we do have a dedicated winter scent coming up after this one, but this is just kind of all-encompassing cooler weather. So it's Valentino Wo. It's got dark chocolate and coffee and hazelnut, some iris in here. Tonka, what a beautiful scent. Actually, officially, I don't even know if there's iris. I think there officially might not be, but you do kind of pick up on it, or maybe that's just because it reminds me of Uomo Intense, which has iris, and then so I'm kind of making that connection in my head. No matter what it is, they're really focusing in on that dark chocolate, coffee, leather, hazelnut, all of that stuff. Rich, gourmand, heavy, really, really nice, and highly underrated. The spotlight is 100% on Uomo Intense. That is by far the most popular Valentino Uomo scent. You know, the new like Born in Romas are getting some traction, and those are just very modern and trendy, so it makes sense. But still, Uomo Intense is like the top dog. But this original, where it all started, is no slouch either. Definitely highly recommended for the cooler times of the year. Formal, casual, whatever. So this next one is going to be our dedicated winter scent. And for me, it is by far one of the most festive smelling fragrances that I have. It smells like the holiday season. And by that, I mean Thanksgiving, Christmas, and then New Year's Eve, whatever. All of those are just pretty close together, and they come and go in an instant, right? It seems like all year you're looking forward to that time of the year, and then boom, it's gone in a flash. But there's something about that time of year where it's cold outside, it gets dark at 4 o'clock, it's gloomy and sad, but yet you've got this warm feeling because it's holidays and family and Christmas and all that, and good food, right? This is something that just goes along with that time of year perfectly. I mean, you can't convince me that there's something more fitting for that besides maybe like Tom Ford Tobacco Vanille. But this is a tobacco scent. It's Spice Bomb Extreme. Black pepper, vanilla, tobacco. It is just a Christmas magical smelling scent. What a fantastic release. It's one of the best tobacco designer fragrances that are out there. Like I said, Tobacco Vanille is kind of a Christmassy Christmas tree smelling fragrance too, but it's just more expensive. But yeah, this is by far a winter scent all the way through. Great performance. It has the power to hold up in the cold winter months, especially if you live somewhere where it gets cold. If you don't, that's less of an issue. And it's almost like this one loses some of its magic once you get through all that. So like once you get through, you know, New Year's, right, and you have that last little hurrah, and now you're just looking at, you know, the rest of cold January and then cold, dark February. This isn't as exciting then, but leading up to just all those holidays and during it, Spice Bomb Extreme is the one to go with. We're going to jump from one end to the other, going back to summertime with Missoni Wave. It's kind of like a combination of Versace Pour Homme and Chanel Allure Homme Sport. Simple as that. But it comes in at about $30 to $40, making it one of the more affordable ones in this video, and just one of the best bargain scents that you can get right now. We're gonna go from summer to spring up next with Dunhill Icon. This is by far a great spring scent. I really don't have much of a desire to wear it in summer just because of all of the ginger going on and all of the florals. You know, florals, you know, like neroli and stuff like that, it works fine in the summer, but there are better options to me, and this one is just, it's got that combination of a kind of a fizzy grape bubbly smell from the ginger, and then you're getting the neroli and some pepper and musk and all that stuff. It's great for the time of year when it's in between. You know, in spring you've got rain, gloomy days. This one will kind of brighten things up. You've got some warm, sunny days where it's kind of like, yay, summer's on the way. This one's perfect for that. Just when it's a little bit cool outside, but the sun is beating down and it makes it feel warmer, that has Dunhill Icon written all over it. And the best part is it's another one that's around $30 to $40. It's a great pickup, super unique for what is essentially pretty close to being a cheapy price. Actually, so is this next one. It's Mont Blanc Explorer. So this is going to cover our Creed Aventus base, right? Because every collection is most likely going to have some sort of Creed Aventus smelling scent. And so the options are you know, all over the board. You could go for an Armani, you could go for a Parfums Vintage, you could go for an Al Haramain, you could go for actual Creed Aventus if you wanted to spend the money. So I'm sticking with the designer brands here. Again, nothing wrong with the clone brands, of course. I love them, but these are all things that are just going to be easier to comprehend for someone who might just be starting out. Everybody knows Mont Blanc. You start getting into the Armafs, and they might get a little bit confusing because there are a lot of Club de Nuit intense mans, but only a few are Aventus and some are not. Kind of bizarre, so keep it easy. If you want to smell like Creed Aventus, Mont Blanc Explorer is a nice $40 option. And that one is just an all-year-rounder. I personally love Aventus the most in summertime. That's when I do wear it the most. But I've also been known to wear it a ton in winter. So however you want to cut that one is whatever. It could just be whenever. And the last one is going to be Brioni Eau de Parfum. Kind of more spring and fall as well. You know, it has a lot of violet, which gives it a spring feeling. But then you're also getting some patchouli in here and some heavier notes, which gives it more of like a cooler weather fall day feeling. It's got musk and then cedarwood, ozonic notes, so it's kind of bright and fresh and airy, but then there is some heavier, woodier, spicier, sweeter, warmer notes going on as well. So it's kind of all over the board. It could really be used spring, summer, fall, winter, whatever. Not too complex with this one. And it's a really good price point as well. You know, I've seen it all over the board for as low as $40 for testers to, you know, $50, $60. It's going to be an odd spread, but wherever you can get it for somewhere within that range, you're going to be doing good. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for me. Some fantastic fragrances that you can build up a great collection with. Like I said, most of these are pretty affordable. I mean, for the most part, we're under $100. A couple of these are creeping over it a little bit, but not by a lot. Shop at discounters. Use all the links down below. They're going to take it to the best prices. And if you want to try before you buy, check out our website, decantcenter.com. We've got thousands of dollars worth of new product coming in to offer to you guys. So if you want to save money and you don't want to buy full bottles first because it's pricey, then go check us out. We offer samples in multiple sizes, fast shipping, best prices around, all of that good stuff. That's going to do it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.